Have you ever imagined spending the night in a glass igloo under the northern lights, or sleeping inside a giant grain silo once used to store crops? What about staying in a fortress rising out of the sea, or drifting off inside a treehouse perched high above the jungle floor? Around the world, hotels are no longer just places to rest. They've become adventures in themselves. In today's video, we'll take you on a journey to explore 15 of the most unusual hotels on Earth. These are not your typical luxury resorts or standard city stays. Each one tells a story, blending history, architecture, and imagination in ways you won't believe exist. From underwater suites to bubble domes beneath the stars, these incredible stays prove that travel can be as strange as it is magical. So, let's begin our journey into the world's most extraordinary hotels. Silo Stay, New Zealand. Tucked away in the small town of Little River on New Zealand's South Island, lies a hotel that takes the idea of thinking outside the box quite literally. Instead of traditional rooms or luxury villas, Silo Stay offers something you won't find anywhere else: accommodation inside giant grain silos. At first glance, you might mistake it for an industrial site or a futuristic farm project, but step inside and you'll discover one of the most innovative and unusual hotels on Earth. The story of Silo Stay begins with the idea of sustainability and creativity. The owners wanted to create a lodging experience that was eco-friendly, functional, and unforgettable. They took old silos, towering metal cylinders once used to store grain, and transformed them into cozy, modern apartments. What was once designed for farming is now a haven for travelers seeking something truly different. Each silo is spread across 2 levels. On the ground floor, guests are welcomed into a compact yet stylish living space, complete with a kitchenette, dining area, and bathroom. A spiral staircase winds its way up the curved metal walls, leading to the bedroom on the upper floor. Here, a comfortable bed sits beneath a round skylight, perfect for stargazing before drifting off to sleep. The design is clever and efficient, turning the industrial shape into something surprisingly warm and inviting. What makes a Silo Stay even more remarkable is its commitment to sustainability. Sala Silver Mine Underground Hotel, Sweden. Deep in the heart of central Sweden, beneath forests and rolling hills, lies a hotel unlike any other, the Solace Silver Mine Underground Suite. At 155 meters below the surface, this is officially the world's deepest hotel room. Staying here means leaving the daylight behind and descending into a realm of silence, history, and pure darkness. The silver mine itself dates back to the 1400s and was once one of the richest in Europe. For centuries, miners carved tunnels and chambers into the earth, extracting silver that fueled the Swedish economy. By the early 20th century, the mine closed, but instead of being abandoned, parts of it were transformed into a heritage site and eventually into one of the most extraordinary hotel experiences in the world. Guests begin their journey by donning helmets and joining a guide on a descent deep into the old mine shafts. As the elevator rattles down, the temperature drops to a constant 2 degrees Celsius, and the walls glisten with minerals. When you arrive, you step into a candlelit chamber carved out of rock, where the underground suite awaits. The room itself is cozy but atmospheric, with stone walls, rustic furniture, and plush bedding that contrasts beautifully with the raw surroundings. There's no Wi-Fi, no TV, and certainly no windows, just the eerie quiet of mind that once echoed with the clang of pickaxes. Communication with the outside world is done via an intercom to the surface. What makes the experience extraordinary is the surreal combination of comfort and isolation. Imagine lying in bed, the walls around you older than history itself, with only candlelight flickering in the darkness. It feels like a cross between a fairy tale and an adventure novel, part romance, part mystery. During the day, guests can explore the vast tunnels of the mine, some stretching for kilometers. Guided tours reveal old mining equipment, underground lakes, and massive caverns. Noelani Treehouse, Maui, Hawaii, USA. High in the lush rainforests of Maui, hidden among towering trees and overlooking the vast Pacific Ocean, stands the Noelani Treehouse, a luxury escape that feels more like a dream than a hotel. Built with glass walls and perched above the jungle floor, it's a stay where nature isn't just outside your window, it's all around you. The concept of Noelani Treehouse was to create a sanctuary that blends seamlessly with the Hawaiian environment. Every aspect of its design celebrates the landscape. Wide glass panels frame views of green canopies, volcanic cliffs, and the endless blue horizon. Sunlight filters through the trees in the morning, while at night, guests can watch the stars from their bed, with the ocean waves echoing in the distance. Unlike rustic tree houses, Noelani is all about modern luxury in a wild setting. The interiors are sleek and open, with natural wood finishes, minimalist decor, and elegant furniture that lets the views take center stage. A private balcony extends out into the treetops, perfect for sipping coffee while mist curls through the rainforest below. One of the highlights of staying here is the connection to Maui's unique ecosystem. Birds flit between branches, tropical flowers bloom outside the windows, and the air is alive with the sounds of the forest. It's the kind of experience that immerses you fully into the rhythms of nature, while still offering the comfort of high-end living. But the location also makes Noelani Treehouse extraordinary. Maui is an island of contrasts, black sand beaches, volcanic peaks, and lush valleys. Guests here can spend their days exploring waterfalls along the road to Hana, snorkeling in coral reefs, or hiking Haleakala volcano, before retreating back to their private treetop hideaway. The sense of seclusion is part of its magic. Unlike big resorts, Noelani Treehouse offers complete privacy. It's just you, the forest, and the sea. Jumbo Stay Hostel, Stockholm, Sweden. At Stockholm's Arlanda Airport, an enormous Boeing 747 jet towers above the tarmac. But instead of preparing for takeoff, this jumbo jet has a very different mission. It's been transformed into one of the world's most unusual hostels, Jumbo Stay. This retired aircraft, once carrying passengers across the globe, now invites travelers to spend the night inside its fuselage. From the outside, it still looks like a fully intact jumbo jet, complete with wings, tail, and engines. But step inside, and you enter a quirky blend of aviation history and modern hospitality. The hostel features more than 30 rooms, cleverly fitted into the narrow body of the plane. Cabins range from simple bunk rooms to more luxurious suites. The highlight is undoubtedly the cockpit suite, where guests can sleep in the actual flight deck with panoramic windows overlooking the runway. Imagine drifting off to sleep in the captain's chair, surrounded by dials and controls that once guided the jet through the skies. Despite its playful concept, Jumbo Stay provides real comfort. Rooms are compact, but they feature cozy beds, air conditioning, and Wi-Fi. There's even a cafe inside the jet, serving breakfast and snacks beneath the curve of the fuselage. Instead of in-flight meals, guests can enjoy coffee and pastries while watching real planes take off nearby. The location is also perfect. It's literally at the airport, making it both convenient and surreal. For aviation lovers, staying here is like stepping into a dream, a chance to live inside an aircraft without ever leaving the ground. For regular travelers, it's a fun alternative to sterile airport hotels, turning a layover into an unforgettable experience. But beyond the novelty, Jumbo Stay is a reminder of how something old can be reimagined. The Crane Hotel Faralda, Amsterdam, Netherlands. Rising above Amsterdam's industrial harbor is a massive steel crane. But instead of lifting cargo, this one-of-a-kind structure lifts luxury to new heights. Welcome to the Crane Hotel Faralda, where an ordinary shipping crane has been transformed into one of the most extraordinary boutique hotels in the world. From the outside, the crane looks imposing, industrial, mechanical, a relic of the city's maritime past. But step inside, and you'll find 3 opulent suites, each designed with its own bold personality. Themes range from eclectic bohemian styles to sleek modern interiors, with velvet sofas, chandeliers, and designer details that stand in stark contrast to the raw steel walls surrounding them. Staying here is more than just a night in a hotel. It's an experience of elevation. The suites are perched nearly 50 meters above the ground, offering breathtaking panoramic views of Amsterdam's skyline, canals, and shipyards. From your bed, you can watch the sun set over the city or see the twinkling lights reflect on the water. The highlight of the Crane Hotel, however, is not just the rooms, it's the movement. The entire crane can rotate, slowly turning to give guests a 360-degree view of the city. It's as if the hotel itself is alive, gently shifting perspectives while you sip champagne on your private balcony. For the adventurous, the hotel even offers bungee jumping from the top, transforming your stay into an adrenaline-pumping memory you'll never forget. And for those seeking relaxation, a rooftop hot tub awaits, suspended high above the harbor. Part of what makes the Crane Hotel Faralda so special is the boldness of its vision. It takes something functional and forgotten, a piece of industrial machinery, and turns it into a symbol of creativity and reinvention. It's gritty on the outside, glamorous on the inside, and unforgettable from every angle. The Mirror Cube, Triotel, Herads, Sweden. Deep in the forests of northern Sweden, hidden among tall pine trees, hangs a hotel that is nearly invisible, the Mirror Cube. This remarkable structure, part of the famous Triotel project, is one of the most unique accommodations on Earth. A perfect cube with mirrored walls that reflect the surrounding forest, making it vanish into the landscape. At first, you might not even see it. The cube blends so perfectly with the trees, sky, and sunlight that it looks like an optical illusion. But as you approach, you notice the sharp lines of its 6 mirrored sides and realize you're about to step inside a piece of architectural magic. The Mirror Cube is suspended in the treetops, accessed by a narrow bridge. Inside, the design is minimalist and calming, with pale wood walls and simple furnishings that contrast with the reflective exterior. The cube can host 2 people, making it an intimate hideaway where you feel both sheltered and exposed to nature at the same time. The real wonder, of course, is the view. Each wall contains hidden windows, so from inside, you can see the forest stretching endlessly in every direction, while from outside, the cube itself disappears. Birds sometimes fly close, confused by the reflections, and guests often describe the experience as dreamlike, like living inside a secret, floating world. The hotel's design is also eco-conscious. Special infrared film prevents birds from colliding with the mirrors, and the structure is built to minimize impact on the trees and forest floor. It's not just beautiful, but also respectful of its environment. What makes the Mirror Cube extraordinary is the feeling it creates. At night, the cube glows softly, suspended among the trees, like a lantern in the wilderness. The Boot Bed and Breakfast, Tasman, New Zealand. In the peaceful countryside of Tasman, New Zealand, there stands a hotel straight out of a fairy tale. Shaped like a giant boot, this whimsical accommodation is known as the Boot Bed and Breakfast, and it looks as if it leapt right off the pages of a children's storybook. From the outside, the structure is exactly what it sounds like, a towering boot, complete with curves, windows, and a chimney peeking from the top. It's a design that makes passers-by smile instantly, reminding them of the nursery rhyme. There was an old woman who lived in a shoe, but instead of being cramped, the inside of this boot is warm, spacious, and full of charm. The boot is designed for couples, making it a perfect romantic getaway. Step through the rounded doorway, and you'll find a cozy living space with a fireplace, wooden beams, and handcrafted furniture. The curved walls give the interior a magical feel, as though you're living in a story rather than reality. Upstairs, a snug bedroom overlooks the gardens outside, while balconies and nooks make the space feel like a private hideout. Surrounding the boot is a fragrant garden filled with roses, lavender, and fruit trees. Guests can stroll through the grounds, enjoy an outdoor breakfast, or simply sit with a cup of tea while birdsong fills the air. It's a place designed for slowing down and escaping the rush of the modern world. What makes the boot extraordinary is not just its playful design, but its atmosphere. Every detail, from the wrought iron spiral staircase to the stained glass windows, feels handcrafted with love. It's a blend of comfort and creativity, turning something as ordinary as footwear into a destination people travel across the world to see. At night, the boot glows warmly against the dark countryside sky, like a lantern guiding travelers home. Montaña Magica Lodge, Huilo Reserve, Chile. Deep within the lush rainforests of southern Chile, there's a hotel that looks less like a building and more like a mythical creation. Rising from the forest floor like a volcano covered in moss and vines, the Montaña Magica Lodge is one of the most enchanting places you can stay on Earth. The lodge is shaped like a mountain, with stone walls and greenery cascading down its sides. At the peak, water bursts forth like a natural spring, flowing in waterfalls down the roof before disappearing into the forest. The result is a structure that feels alive, blending seamlessly into its wild surroundings. Inside, the magic continues. Wooden interiors, carved beams, and cozy fireplaces give the lodge a warm and rustic atmosphere. The rooms are simple but inviting, with large windows that look out onto the dense forest. Some even feature balconies where guests can listen to the sound of rushing waterfalls and birds calling through the trees. But Montaña Magica is more than just a hotel. It's part of the Huilo Biological Reserve, a vast protected area rich in biodiversity. Guests can hike through ancient forests, spot rare wildlife, or soak in hot tubs crafted from hollow tree trunks. Every corner of the lodge celebrates nature, encouraging visitors to disconnect from technology and reconnect with the wild. What makes the lodge so extraordinary is its fairy tale atmosphere. Walking up to it for the first time feels surreal. You see what looks like a mountain sprouting windows, glowing with light and spilling water down its slopes. It blurs the line between human architecture and natural wonder. For travelers seeking something magical and unforgettable, the Montaña Magica Lodge is a destination like no other. It's not just a hotel, it's a living storybook set in the heart of the forest. Free Spirit Spheres, Vancouver Island, Canada. High among the towering cedars of Vancouver Island, a collection of spherical pods dangle from the trees like glowing lanterns. These are the Free Spirit Spheres, one of the most unusual and enchanting hotels in the world. Suspended by ropes and cables, these orb-shaped tree houses offer guests a chance to live in harmony with the forest, literally cradled in its branches. From the moment you step onto the narrow suspension bridge leading to your sphere, you feel transported into another world. The pods sway gently with the movement of the wind, and when you climb inside, you discover a surprisingly cozy, futuristic interior. Each sphere is handcrafted from wood, with warm paneling, small windows, and clever built-in furniture. Some contain beds, others have desks and seating areas, but all feel like private cocoons tucked away in the treetops. At night, when the spheres are lit, they glow softly against the dark forest canopy, like something out of science fiction film. The swaying motion is calming, like being rocked to sleep in nature's embrace. Birds chirp in the morning, raindrops patter on the sphere's curved walls, and the sounds of the forest surround you at all times. The inspiration behind Free Spirit Spheres came from the idea of tree houses for adults, but not ordinary tree houses. These spheres represent a fusion of art, engineering, and nature. The suspension system distributes their weight evenly, so the trees are unharmed and the pods feel secure even in strong winds. It's a perfect example of eco-friendly design, blending innovation with respect for the environment. What makes this hotel extraordinary is the experience of seeing the forest from a completely new perspective. Instead of looking up at trees, you live among them, suspended in their arms. It's both playful and spiritual, encouraging guests to reconnect with the natural world. Hotel Marqués de Riscal, El Ciego, Spain. In the rolling vineyards of Spain's Rioja wine region, there rises a building so surreal. It looks like a sculpture more than a hotel. Designed by legendary architect Frank Gehry, the Hotel Marqués de Riscal is a masterpiece of modern architecture, with shimmering ribbons of titanium in pink, silver, and gold flowing across its surface. It is not just a place to stay. It's a work of art in the heart of wine country. From a distance, the building seems impossible. Twisted metal panels cascade in curves that defy logic, reflecting sunlight in brilliant colors. Gehry, who also designed the Guggenheim Museum in Bilbao, wanted the hotel to represent movement and creativity, echoing the energy of the vineyard surrounding it. The pink titanium symbolizes the local wine. The silver reflects the bottle's foil, and the golden tones honor the tradition of Rioja. Step inside, and the bold exterior gives way to a refined, luxurious interior. The rooms are sleek and modern. Guests can tour the vineyards, explore centuries-old wine cellars, and enjoy tastings of the estate's famous vintages. The on-site Michelin-starred restaurant serves world-class cuisine paired perfectly with Rioja wines, making dining here an experience in itself. One of the highlights is the Vinotherapy Spa, where treatments use grape extracts and wine-based products said to rejuvenate the skin and body. Imagine soaking in a wine bath or enjoying a grape seed scrub while overlooking the very vineyards that produce them. What makes this hotel extraordinary is how it blends art, architecture, wine, and history into one experience. Kumbuk River Resort, Batala, Sri Lanka. Deep in the jungles of Sri Lanka, by the winding banks of the Kumbuk River, stands a hotel unlike anything you've ever seen. It isn't shaped like a palace, a tower, or a modern resort. Instead, it looks like a giant elephant made of grass and wood. This is the Kumbuk River Resort, a unique eco-lodge that combines sustainability, creativity, and Sri Lanka's most iconic animal into one unforgettable stay. The elephant-shaped lodge is massive, standing 2 stories high and stretching almost 40 feet long. From a distance, it looks like a mythical creature rising from the riverside, its body formed from woven grass, timber, and mud. Inside, however, guests find a surprisingly spacious interior, with bedrooms, lounges, and rustic furnishings all designed to feel natural and earthy. There's even a balcony that looks out over the river, offering the perfect view of the surrounding jungle. What makes Kumbuk River Resort so special is its deep commitment to ecotourism. The entire structure was built using sustainable, locally sourced materials, without disturbing the natural environment. The lodge runs with minimal electricity, encouraging visitors to disconnect from the modern world and reconnect with nature. Nights are spent under the stars, with the sound of flowing water and jungle calls creating an atmosphere of pure wilderness. Guests staying here enjoy more than just a quirky building. The location itself is extraordinary. The resort borders Yala National Park, one of Sri Lanka's most famous wildlife sanctuaries. In Västerås, Sweden, in the middle of a peaceful Swedish lake, a tiny red cabin floats on the water. From the outside, it looks like a simple fisherman's hut, small, plain, and unassuming. But step inside, and you'll discover one of the most unusual hotels in the world. This is the Udder Inn, a floating hotel with a secret. Beneath the lake's surface lies a hidden underwater bedroom. The Udder Inn was created by Swedish artist Michael Ginberg, who wanted to blend art, nature, and accommodation into a single playful experience. Guests arrive by boat and step into the modest wooden cabin, which contains only the basics: a small deck, minimal furnishings, and a ladder leading below. But when you climb down, you find yourself in a white, submarine-like room with windows looking directly into the lake. From your bed, you can gaze out at the underwater world. Fish drift past your window, curious about their strange new neighbors. The light filters through the water, shifting with the time of day. At night, The lake turns dark and mysterious, giving the room an otherworldly atmosphere, like living inside a secret aquatic hideout. Part of the charm of Utter Inn is its simplicity. There are no luxury amenities, no distractions, and no crowds. You cook your own meals, spend your time swimming, kayaking, or just sitting on the deck under the open sky. The silence of the lake surrounds you, broken only by the splash of fish or the hum of birds overhead. The experience is both quirky and meditative. It forces guests to slow down, appreciate the beauty of solitude, and live in harmony with the water. For some, it feels like a childhood dream come true, having your own floating fort with a secret underwater lair. Tree Bones Resort, Big Sur, California, USA. High on the cliffs of California's rugged Big Sur coastline, overlooking the endless Pacific Ocean, lies a resort that combines wilderness with comfort in the most beautiful way. This is Tree Bones Resort, famous for its collection of luxury yurts, circular tent-like structures that blend simplicity with style. From the outside, the yurts resemble traditional nomadic homes. But step inside, and you'll find cozy, well-furnished spaces with warm beds, wooden floors, and even private decks. Each yurt is perched on the cliffs, offering panoramic views of the ocean, where waves crash dramatically against the rocks below. The sight of the sun setting over the Pacific, watched from your own deck, is an experience guests never forget. Tree Bones is more than just yurts, though. The resort embraces sustainable living and eco-friendly practices. Much of the food served at its restaurant is grown in its organic garden, and the architecture is designed to minimize environmental impact. Guests are encouraged to immerse themselves in nature, whether by hiking, practicing yoga on outdoor platforms, or simply sitting quietly to listen to the sound of the sea. One of the most unique accommodations here is the human-sized nest, a massive woven structure shaped like a bird's nest, where adventurous guests can spend the night under the stars. There's also a twig hut, a creative wooden shelter that feels like something out of fairy tale. These artistic lodgings make Tree Bones not just a resort, but a playground for the imagination. The location itself adds to the magic. Big Sur is one of the most breathtaking stretches of coastline in the world, with towering redwoods, hidden coves, and dramatic cliffs. Staying at Tree Bones puts you right in the heart of it, with nature surrounding you at every turn.